Hey minions, welcome to Crank It Up. I'm Jim Price, and on this episode of Action Awareness, I want to talk about Full Sail of the Pirates. This is the OG 23 special, and one of my favorites because of its versatility. Full Sail can move any number of your minions to other bases, either in Phase 2 or Phase 3. Let me just say, if this card did not exist, I would have a hard time playing the Pirates because it becomes first mate or bust without it. Full Sail is the movement equivalent of Under Pressure, which isn't a 23 special. Perhaps the better comparable is Expert Timing, which is. You'll see that the same scenarios tend to present themselves with Full Sail as they did for those two cards, but there's something really elegant about Full Sail. It is much easier to pull off, and it's just as satisfying when you do. Let me start by saying this. Unless you are winning the game, do not play this card in Phase 2. Do not. Okay, I know most players hate absolutes, and there may be moments of desperation, but this card provides infinitely more value in Phase 3 than in Phase 2. The best example of when you would use it in Phase 2 is when Full Sail would win you the base on your turn, but your opponent would add more power in their turn that makes it too large a gap to cross. But Full Sail provides so much value in Phase 3 and frees up your action to use a seemingly out-of-place pirate action, swashbuckling. The pirates are about destruction and movement, whether it is moving yourself or an opponent. This makes it hard for the pirates to have terminal actions unless you are using movement to close the base. But swashbuckling is there, only at one copy, really seeming out of place. Yet it is key to unlocking the potential of Full Sail because it creates some very interesting scenarios. One of the best things to do is break a base by yourself, but this is expensive. If you can be efficient, unanswered points are tremendous. Getting 4 or 5 points ahead of your opponent can either give you the game or get you back into the game. But you don't want to do it in such a way that you can no longer compete at all. Full Sail solves this because it allows you to dogpile on a base. You can use swashbuckling to help break that first base, powering up your minions until the end of your turn. There is something I need to emphasize because this question gets asked a lot. I mean, a lot. After a base starts scoring, if the power is reduced below the breakpoint, the base still scores. If the base loses all of its minions, actions, and titans, it still scores. You need to explicitly tell the base not to score in order to stop the process. So when you use Full Sail to move everyone off but the bare minimum to win, that base is still scoring. If the base is uncontested, you can leave a single minion there and collect everything. But with the pirates, it's amazing that the bare minimum happens to be the first mate, a minion who can join his comrades after the current base scores. Even if the base is contested, swashbuckled first mates can provide 9 or 12 power, depending on their quantity, which will help you win the first base. You can then use their ability to move to the base that Full Sail sent everyone else, scoring 2 bases in a turn. If you set it up properly, you can disperse the minions across 2 bases and send the first mates one at a time to them, breaking them each in order. One of the problems with the first mates is that it is difficult to set up their combo. Full Sail lets you treat all of your minions as if they were first mates just once, sacrificing power you don't need to allow them to be repositioned strategically. This is one of my favorite combos in the game, because it is movement based and opponents cannot know your target. Full Sail brings out the best in the first mates because it allows them to use swashbuckling to its full potential, while Full Sail sends the right amount of minions to the appropriate bases for maximum damage. So as far as scenarios go, you can use Full Sail to reinvest your overspent resources on other bases, hopefully breaking them on the same turn. Even if it is a future turn, that is still a lot of value. You can use it to steal a base away from someone, similar to Under Pressure. But Full Sail can do something that Under Pressure and Expert Timing cannot do, which is give you your presence on the base. These other cards can only reinforce the presence you already have. The Pirate King can move to a scoring base to guarantee a presence, which provides value, but if you remember from my Pirate King video, your opponent can see this coming. There is no surprise factor. But since Full Sail is played from the hand, your opponent never knows if you are holding that card, and that's critical. They can overspend hoping to win a base by themselves, only for you to Full Sail a minion on at the last second. I've said how much I love the Shinobi, and Full Sail is a different way of achieving the same effect. But you don't have to move just one minion, You can use the opportunity to reposition your minions on a lower breakpoint base on someone else's turn, essentially setting up a big play on your next turn. Since you have already aligned your minions, you can play swashbuckling to give the final power you need, and you should be able to math this out at the time you play Full Sail. If done properly, your opponent will have no chance to react, and you may get an uncontested base that way. While it is not as good point-wise as the first scenario, both you and your opponent have splurged for points, but you got more out of the deal. In this scenario, the ability to get a free play to set up your future turn is extremely valuable to a faction that lacks extra minions or plays. In fact, it is potentially more valuable than both of your dinghies combined, and if you have the right partner faction, you can do great things post Full Sail. When you use this on someone else's Phase 3, you can create some great opportunities. Play Let's Finish This on a base where an opponent is, but you aren't. You can Full Sail a minion there, which frees up your action to kick the player off the base. The same is true of Marking Territory, where the minions allow you to trigger its ability to activate, using your werewolf actions to hopefully eliminate a player on a base. I really like this combination with the Magical Girls, as you can use their combined powers to manipulate a base and the player on them, while moving them to another destination to repeat the process later. With the Ancient Egyptians, this saves you the time of having to bury and uncover all of your mummies, since you can only uncover a card once per turn automatically. Uncovering Blessing of Anubis in conjunction with Swashbuckling can easily create the multi-base combo you need. If you can build up a singularly powerful minion, Full Sail lets you use that power twice in the same turn, like a Wrecking Ball, without having to rely on your first mates. When used on a Flying Monkey Cyborg Ape, you can use the minion up to 3 times to break bases, all while maintaining it at its maximum power level, since Flying Monkey is still around for the first 2. There are so many examples because this card is versatile, and the fact that it affects all minions easily eclipses a card like you call this Archaeology. Of course, Full Sail has its weaknesses. It can be undone by other specials, but like I often say, you have to know what you're playing against. Watch out for any other factions with last-minute minion plays or movement. But against most factions, this is unblockable, and it really elevates the pirates to another level. When I play pirates, this card is a necessity, because there is so much I can do with it. While it's generally better for a card to be a 23 special, Full Sail doesn't need to be one because it derives its true value in Phase 3. Please don't use this haphazardly. Please don't be like the Smash Up app. What do you think of Full Sail? Do you use it with catch-up or overkill strategies? Let me know in the comments. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let's shut it down.